afternoon to you wherever you are watching Ogun State Television. This is the news at noon. I am Adibola Oshomoji. In a landmark move to redefine the future of Nigeria's tertiary education, the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities (ASU) yesterday reached an agreement that promised improved welfare for lecturers, industrial harmony, and uninterrupted academic calendars across federal universities. Unveiling the agreement in Abuja, Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, described the pact as a historic turning point that is expected to restore trust, dignity, and confidence in the nation's university system after decades of strikes and instability. This is just as other stakeholders in the sector, such as the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, the National Parent-Teacher Association of Nigeria, and the Congress of University Academics, CONA, commended the deal, but with some reservations. Speaking on the occasion, Alausa credited President Bola Tinubu for taking what he described as an unprecedented step by personally confronting and resolving a long-standing crisis that had crippled universities, disrupted academic calendars, and dimmed the hopes of millions of students. Central to the agreement is a 40% upward review of the emolument of university academic staff approved by the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission and scheduled to take effect from January 1, 2026. Here in Ogun State, the State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Arigbabo, has commended the generosity of His Royal Highness Obasaka Matemilola, the Olowu of Owu Kingdom, for adopting Daniel Akintonde Model School for Children with Special Needs at Digbe, Abeokuta. Professor Arigbabo gave this commendation during the commissioning of the rehabilitated dining hall of the school by Olowu Initiatives, expressed satisfaction over the transformation brought to the hall and for the highly sophisticated cooking tools donated to make the life of the children peaceful and enjoyable. The commissioner recalls about the new befitting toilet facilities constructed by Oba Olowu sometimes last year, as well as nothing less than 150 bunks with 150 high-quality mattresses donated to boys and girls schools hostels to make life bearable for them. Arigbabo applauded Oba Matemilola for keying into the agenda of Prince Dakwa Abiodun administration on education, particularly in the areas of infrastructure and learners and teachers' welfare.
The good thing about it is that WC seems to be keying fully into the agenda of this administration, particularly in the area of infrastructure. All the pillars that we have, the pillar on infrastructure. So our intention is to totally remodel all the special needs schools in the state. So with this intervention, WC is even making the job in Abeokuta easier for us, which means what we have to do in Abeokuta, the Adigbe school, is going to be less than what we anticipated, because we have actually put all these things in the memo for the government to approve for us. So,
for health, Dr. Tomi Koka acknowledged that the KBAC has passionately invested a lot in the school to give the children better life conditions.
Individuals are very vulnerable to health conditions and infections particularly. So IPC, which is Infection Prevention and Control Team, will be visiting the school to do public awareness and education and ensuring that we have international standard IPC.
For media engagement, the donor, Obasaka Matemilola, said, as a community leader, his primary responsibility is to ensure the well-being of his people, irrespective of their abilities or limitations. Hence, the various interventions impact upon to cater for children living with disabilities.
The first time we came here and I saw the situation, I said, yes, we have to make sure we intervene. And that's why we decided to adopt Daniel Akintonde Special School, and to ensure we provide all the infrastructure, all the facility, to ensure they also have an opportunity for decent living, to have dignity of life, and to be able to be on their own as best as they can, given their limitations.
Appreciative note. The head teacher of the school, Mrs. Florence, expressed gratitude towards the reformations going on around the school, majorly by the government and the Olu of Owu. The Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, retired, has reiterated the federal government's commitment to safeguarding schools and ensuring a secure learning environment across the country. Musa gave the assurance in Abuja while receiving the Distinguished Service in National Peace and Security Merit Award from the National Parent Teachers Association of Nigeria. The minister emphasized that security remained central to educational development, stressing that the safe environment was crucial for effective teaching and learning. He also reaffirmed the Defense Ministry's partnership with education stakeholders to protect schools from criminal threat and sustain gains recorded under the Safe School program. As part of activities marking the 50th anniversary of the creation of Ogun State, the Ogun State government calls on citizens, institutions and communities to contribute historical materials that reflect the state journey over the past 5 decades. The call is aimed at preserving the collective history of the Gateway State as it prepares to celebrate its Golden Jubilee. According to the state government, members of the public are encouraged to submit old photographs, video clips, newspaper cuttings, memo, artifacts, and personal records that document life in Ogun State from its creation to present day. The materials may include images and records of towns and markets, schools and industries, cultural festivals, traditional institutions, notable personalities, key milestones, as well as everyday life across the state. Current photographs and video clips showcasing Ogun State today are also welcomed. The government assured contributors that all materials will be carefully documented, duly credited, and may be featured in exhibitions, publications, documentaries, and digital archives to commemorate Ogun State at 50. It also assured that original materials will be handled with care and returned promptly. Hard copies of the materials should be submitted through the Ministry of Information, while electronic copies can be sent to informationandstrategy@gmail.com. The Ogun State government urged residents to participate actively in the preserving the past, celebrating the present, and inspiring the future of the state. Burial plans for the matriarch of the Onabanjo dynasty, Onabanjo, wife of the first civilian governor of Ogun State, late Chief BC Onabanjo, will be released on Friday, January 16, 2026. This was made known by one of the children of the deceased, Mrs. Bukola Onabanjo, as sympathizers trooped to the family's country home in Ijabode to pay their condolences and commiserate with the family. Bumi Adegun was there and he completes the story.
Area of Ijabode is the country home of the Onabanjos. The community is mourning the passage of the matriarch of the Onabanjos, who died on Monday the 11th of January 2026. It is the end of an era as Chief Mrs. Lucia Onabanjo, matriarch of the Onabanjo dynasty, passed on 35 years after the passing of her husband, the first civilian governor of Ogun State, late Chief BC Onabanjo.
Has lived a great life. He has made a mark. Mama is a leader, not only in Ijabode, in Ogun State and Nigeria as a whole. So she has done her own part, and our legacy will be remembered for all of us.
While Mama, thank God for Western life, Mama lived an exemplary life. Mama lived to the age of fulfilling, in which anybody cannot doubt his lifetime. Because someone that lived up to 100 years, more than 100 years, he has lived a fulfilled life.
Described by sympathizers as an Amazon, family members, friends, and well-wishers from the family's country home in Ijabode to pay their last respects. Among those present is Prince Iyola Omishuwe.
She left at a very good time, a very ripe age. She was a mother to all of us.
and she lived very well, and she leave a legacy of service for all of us to emulate. So we just want to thank God and thank God for the children.
One of our children, Mrs. Bukola Onobanjo, was on the ground to receive guests. She speaks on her mother's final moments and discloses that burial arrangements will be released on Friday, January 16th, 2026.
She lived a good life. She loved very dearly, and she was loved as well. I feel sad that she's gone, but at the same time I am happy that she had a seamless transition, no pain, and she's reunited with her husband, my sister, and my brother. We will be able to finalize that on Friday.
As condolences continue to pour in from far and near, the family expressed gratitude for the outpouring of love and assured that details of the burial ceremonies will be made public as preparations progress. Buniadigun, OGTV News.
And on the foreign scene, the United States said it was suspending the processing of immigrant visas from Nigeria and 74 countries. President Donald Trump's latest move against foreigners seeking to come to America. The United States has long rejected visas from people who appear likely to end up needing government welfare. But the State Department said it would now use the same authority for a blanket suspension of immigrant visas based on nationality. According to the State Department spokesman, Tommy Pigott, the Trump administration is bringing to an end the abuse of America's immigration system by those who would extract wealth from the American people. He further said the immigrant visa processing from these 75 countries will be paused while the State Department be reset immigration processing procedures to prevent the entry of foreign nationals who would take welfare and public benefit. Tensions are rising in the region after the United States began to withdraw some personnel from an air base in Qatar amid growing fears of a renewed U.S.-Iran conflict. Iran's airspace and reopened to traffic after a temporary closure to most flights expired, with the tracking data showing aircraft making their way towards Tehran. Protests that rocked Iran in the last few weeks have mostly subsided. Iran has released no official death toll, but authorities have said more than 100 members of the security forces have been killed. Opposition activists said the toll is much higher and includes more than 1,000 protesters. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araki has denied that Tehran plans to execute anti-government protesters after U.S. President Donald Trump said he had received assurances that killings of demonstrators in Iran had stopped. In sport, goalkeeper Younson Bono was the hero with 2 saves in the shootout as host Morocco beat Nigeria 4-2 on penalties to set up an Africa Cup of Nations final showdown this weekend with Senegal after a tense last 4 clash on Wednesday finished 0-0 at the end of extra time. Bono saved from Samuel Chukwueze and brilliantly from Bruno Onyemachi, allowing Yusuf and Yusri to convert the winning kick and spark wild celebrations inside the Prince Moulay Abdel Stadium in Rabat. There was joy but also relief for Hamza Egame, who had appeared distraught after his kick was saved by Nigeria goalkeeper Stanley Wabali. Morocco will now play Senegal on Sunday after the Lions of Teranga defeated Mohamed Salah's Egypt 1-0 on the other semi-final earlier, thanks to Sadio Mane goal. And just before we end the news, let's remind you that you cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. And that's all on the news. Many thanks for watching. Just stay tuned for Yoruba version. Bye.